I feel like nowadays though, video games are getting more and more cinematic. Like for me, God of War was like the
Right.
best, or Red Dead Redemption is like the best example where
I
you literally
think,
have a
yeah, I
cinematic
think
scope.
the PlayStation 4's roster of games in particular is trying to hammer home the storytelling aspect, I believe,
Mm,
of these. Often these are open world games
yeah,
that
Yeah.
have a story told through the characters, but also the development within the world.
yeah, the
So
aesthetic
the
as
game
well. Yeah,
world evolves as you play through it, and that kind of reflects like Red Dead,
yeah,
that Spider-Man game.
yeah,
That's all a bunch of open world games that tell that story through the gameplay, in a sense, through your
yeah,
exploration.
I mean, Switch, there's a great example that, to me, like a great example of like mixing cinematic codes into video game. It's the last God of War with
yeah.
that
Exactly. Yeah,
really great idea. They had this great idea of making like a long shot, a whole long shot for the whole game.
yeah,
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 Like they just hide. There are a few cuts, but of course they hide
hide the
them.
cuts.
yeah. They
It's
had the
like
cuts. Yeah,
Yeah,
Birdman
yeah,
as a video game.
yeah, and like it really works. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
that's why I think that the revamp got really popular and actually won the best game of 2018 because
Game of the
it's
year. Yeah.
it's very
I,
it very much it's a very much it also it brings about new audiences to either art forms. So like a lot of people who played the original God of Wars, oh sorry, who didn't play the original God of Wars in PS 3 and 2, they got into the new one in PS4 because they're
yeah.
like, oh look, it's so different, and the storytelling is so much more grandiose and more sort of clear and less like platforming and all that stuff. It's very much like there's a whole adventure going through, and you get to see it through the eyes of two relatable characters. So I feel like that's why I think like nowadays with technology, everything's getting more and more involved. So VR will be the next thing where you'll be actually immersed into the fucking film or the
It
game.
depends how accessible VR
I
becomes.
mean, for
If
now,
it,
VR is not very accessible. Like, it's not. It's
Yeah,
very
for
no,
now
it's
it's
not.
limited,
That's the
expensive.
thing.
but
But like right now, it's a niche.
yeah,
But it could possibly expand if they democratize the means to
no, no, for sure. I mean,
either like make games for it, or
I mean, I mean, I
the
mean,
hardware.
prior to the PSP, everything was sort of at home. And
Yeah.
when they brought in like, well, I mean, the Game Boys and all that
Well,
were still, but
yeah,
they were limited to
handhelds
amounts.
have existed,
They
but
were limited to the amounts of games that could be played. It was more platforming and sort of like, I guess
right.
Pokemon kind of had like the first open world, if you will.
One of the first. I mean, there's still like the Elder Scrolls Arena in the
Yeah,
Yeah,
90s
yeah,
that started all of that. Well,
and you can
start,
like go way further than that.
you could
That's
go to
yeah, yeah,
like far back, but where we would consider it an open world in the modern sense would probably
yeah.
like go back to the early 90s.
yeah. So
Uh, but yeah, I think it's also interesting to see that the open world has kind of become the dominating genre along with the first person shooter.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
I feel like that's the one thing that sort of that limits film is the fact that we like the filmmakers create a world, but the audience, when the world's so well built, the audience really wants to see the world in its entirety, and so that's what video games allows for that film lacks. Unless you want to create like a bunch of sequels afterwards, like John Wick, for example, is just like sequel 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then like Fast and Furious, the same thing. So it's like the only way for like the world to be completely like explored is to create sequels, but ultimately deteriorate the actual story itself.
right. It's a medium that allows for pit stops to feel natural
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah, but actually, like in a way, there's a way in which like films allow more freedom to audience than video games
Yeah.
because like when you're making a film, like you said, you're limited like 2 hours. You're
Yeah.
showing an incredible world, but it's just 2 hours. But like after those 2 hours have passed, the audience has this freedom of imagining pretty much whatever they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like about
But in video games, you have like I don't know 30 hours of content, and like
Yeah.
the audience can literally see everything. And to be honest,
Yeah,
there's been a few games in which I found it almost suffocating. You want to imagine things, but the game is
Yeah.
giving you all the answers. It's just
All the information's there.
yeah,
Just have to explore it.
you want to explore the things a bit on your own, but like the video
Yeah.
games is already giving you all the cards, so it's
Yeah, I get
it's
that.
almost
Yeah.
disappointing sometimes.
That is true.
I think I've played a few games where I had a conception in my head of, okay, I've seen the entire world of this game, and you wouldn't have that in a film. The impression or the
Yeah, but like that's actually like unrealistic. Like you never see the entire world in real
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
you might say that films, by showing you just a parcel,
Capture a better essence of real life.
yeah, just capturing like just a parcel of that world, then you have to imagine it,
Yeah.
are more realistic, because in video games, like worlds sometimes feel so small.
Yeah.
Like you see it
But
all.
that's because of scaling issues, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that if they could, they would make a world simulator like a GTA, Grand Theft Auto, with like the entire planet if they had the processing power.
Yeah. I mean,
Because that would sell a lot.
Yeah, but that
Clearly.
still be like too much.
that'd be
Dude,
kind of boring. Just go
interesting.
Google Maps. Just go Google Maps and look at shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah. At this point, Google Maps is a video game.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's called GeoGuessr. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know
but
that game.
Jake, so
GeoGuessr.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's become a
GeoGuessr's really
game.
there, so.